timeless voices of the eternal church.
The Boy Martyrs of Uganda, Uganda, January 31, 1885. Before Uganda became a British protectorate around 1895, Uganda was still ruled by the Kabaka tribal kings. In 1877, two Anglican missionaries, Wilson and Sher Goldsmith, walked 900 miles from the Indian Ocean until they reached Lake Victoria. On the other side of Lake Victoria, after sailing another 200 miles, they were welcomed with great ceremony by King Kabaka Mutesa I. Mutesa had already heard the gospel from Henry Stanley, the English journalist who had come to Africa looking for David Livingstone. But it was hard to tell whether he was truly interested in the Christian faith or learning to make guns and gunpowder from these Englishmen. But King Mutesa generously allowed his subjects freedom to choose their religion, whether Christian, Muslim, or traditionalist, and the Christian faith spread rapidly. This meeting between King Mutesa and the English missionaries is considered the beginning of the Christian church in Uganda, and its centennial was commemorated in 1977. But that's another story. Following the death of King Mutesa in 1884, his son Mwanga II took the Kabaka throne. But young Mwanga was not pleased by the Christian influence pervading his court, which consisted of about 3,000 people, ministers, guards, king's wives, children, servants, young pages, living together in vast enclosure of over 600 huts. The believers, called Abasomi or readers, because they were so eager to read the scriptures, gave their primary allegiance to the King of Kings, and Mwanga felt his power and authority were threatened. The king's pages. It was a great honor to be a page in the Kabaka court. Only the healthiest and handsomest boys, chosen at about age 12, became pages until they reached the age of 20, when they were promoted to guards or soldiers. It was unthinkable for simple pages to refuse the desires of a king. But that's exactly what 3 young Christian boys did when the king made homosexual advances to them. Mwanga had been king barely a year when Yusufu, called Joseph, Mako, otherwise called Mark, and Noah, otherwise called Noah, rejected his advances. Mwanga was outraged. He would nip his defiance at the root before it spread. A great fire was built at Busega Natati, and the boys, the youngest of whom was only 11 and the oldest 15, faced death by burning. All the people were weeping, and the boys' parents pled with them to give up their Christian faith. But the boys would not. They even began to sing, "Oh, that I had the wings like the angels. I would fly away and be with Jesus." This song became known as the Martyrs song in all the Christian churches in Uganda. Angry because he couldn't frighten the boys into denying their faith, King Mwanga ordered his warriors to chop off their arms and throw them alive into the fire. Yusufu, the youngest, pleaded, "Please don't cut off my arms. I will not struggle in the fire that takes me to Jesus." Shaken by the steadfast faith of such young boys, 40 persons who watched them go into their deaths put their faith in Jesus. They knew what it might mean, and the persecution of Christians in Uganda had only begun. Voice of the hero. Tell the king that he has put our bodies in the fire, but we won't be long in the fire. Soon we shall be with Jesus, which is much better. But ask him to repent, or he will land in the place of eternal fire. Yusufu, Mako, and Noah on January 31, 1885, just before being thrown into the fire. Jesus said, "Don't be afraid of those who want to kill you. They can only kill your body. They cannot touch your soul. Fear only God, who can destroy both soul and body in hell. Matthew 10 verse 28.
Reading from the complete book of Christian heroes, over 200 stories of courageous people who suffered for Jesus, compiled by Dave and Nita Jackson. This is the Eternal Church of Jesus Christ, the record.